Hey guys, coming to you on Friday instead of Wednesday because Wednesday was Christmas and I didn't want to work on Christmas. But today I'm going to talk about pull-ups again for the last week of December, and specifically what to do or what is missing when you're not progressing as fast as you'd like or you're not seeing improvement with your pull-ups. So this can happen when someone they finally get kipping pull-ups and they work on kipping a lot, but then they no longer work on developing that strict strength because they have kipping pull-ups, or they start working a lot on butterfly pull-ups and they get their butterfly pull-ups, but then they don't continue to work on kipping, or they don't continue to work on developing that strict strength. And when they no longer work on developing that strict strength, then that strict strength decreases and it can compound a bit and make it difficult to do butterfly or kipping, or they can just experience a plateau where they're just kind of stuck where they've always been and things aren't really getting better because they're not continuing to work on their strength. So I would encourage you to, for specific exercises for that, go back 2 weeks, look at the video I did on how to get your first pull-up, and all of those exercises still apply when you're struggling with progressing with kipping or butterfly. Working on just developing that strict strength is going to help improve your performance with kipping and with butterfly. It's going to make it easier to do. Two more advanced or two drills or exercises that I'll pull out when I'm working with people who are stronger or who have been kipping or doing butterfly for a while are prolonged holds at the top. So doing a strict pull-up, pulling yourself up to getting that chin over bar or chest to bar and holding in that position for a good 30 seconds, and then slowly lowering out of that, pulling yourself back up and holding in that position. Because one of the positions that people tend to lack strength is at the top of the pull-up. And specifically for me, that is where I lack the most strength. So when I get tired with kipping, I'm fine in the bottom, but I get to the top and that's where I fatigue out and have trouble pushing away from the bar. So a good fix or drill for that is just holding when you're at the top of that pull-up, because that's going to help you develop strength specifically in that position. And to give you an idea on timeline, time frame to do that, so I can do 11 consecutive strict pull-ups, but you have me hold up at the top, chin over bar for 15 seconds, and I'm visibly shaking. So it's a pretty good drill that it very specifically targets that upper body, that position with you over the bar. Another one you could do is very similar, but going from having your chest to the bar to slightly going down to bringing the bar up to the top of your head, and then chest to bar. So really like a mini pull-up within that top range if that's the position in the pull-up that you struggle the most with. If you struggle with the mid part of the pull-up the most, just transfer that same drill to the mid part of the pull-up. So start like maybe a third of the way through the pull-up, go up to 2/3 of the way through the pull-up, and then go back and forth between that third and 2/3 position, and then you'll specifically target that position that you lack strength in. Same thing if you lack strength in the bottom, or you can do kind of the scap pull-ups that I talked about 2 weeks ago. And then I wanted to go over one drill that I really like for improving lat strength. It's called, so if those other ones that I just discussed, also good, play with those. I specifically like those a lot. And this one I use with more higher level athletes, but just because you don't have your first pull-up doesn't mean you can't use it to help develop strength to get you to that first pull-up as well. So I am going to show you, I'm going to wheel this out of the way. So I have a kettlebell over here attached to a band, which is shut in the door, but you don't have to shut in the door, you could attach it to a rig. So you're going to do a bent over row with the kettlebell attached to this band. And I use a pretty strong band for this because this is going to be pulling your shoulder forward. So if I don't put any pull on it, it just brings it forward. I have to actively engage back and then do a row. And what this actively engaging back does is it forces me to kick on my lats and use my lats and along with the rhomboids. So with this, one of the things people tend to do with a row is they tend to want to use their biceps instead. So they'll curl a little bit more up here. So instead, think about just bringing that elbow back to the rib cage and your hand goes where it goes. It doesn't matter where your hand goes. Biceps doesn't work. You want it to be all in the lats and in the rhomboids. So, and if you do attach a band to anything, make sure it's sturdy before you do that. Otherwise it will come back and snap you in the face, and that would be good. So yes, so those are some ways to work on developing your lat strength. If you feel like you've plateaued or you're not progressing as fast as you'd like with kipping pull-ups, butterfly pull-ups, also ways to work towards that first pull-up. But for working towards that first pull-up, I would go back 2 weeks and I'd focus more on those. Those are more specific to that. But these kind of the different pull-up positions from the rig, focusing on that smaller range of motion where you struggle the most or prolonged holds in that position, along with the banded lat row, are 2 good exercises that I like to give to higher level athletes who struggle a little bit with strength or progressing with pull-ups. So that is it for today, but if you have any topics you want me to cover, feel free to message me. I had someone ask about back pain, so January will be about back pain, but if you have any topics, issues, questions, thoughts running through your mind, just shoot me a message, comment below, and I'll make an effort to chat about it. And have a wonderful new year, everyone.